Hello and welcome to the Finding Your Voice platform, where we aim to bring everybody from all over the world together in a time of social distancing, self-isolation, and global lockdown. Today, my awesome guest is Waya, also known as Holly. She's an intuitive medium that channels energy from the spiritual realm to help others on their spiritual journey of growth and enlightenment. She is of Irish, Scottish, Welsh, Scandinavian, and Italian descent. Actually described herself as a Heinz 57, which is a wonderful new term I just learned as a whole lot of things in one bottle. She describes herself also as a universal soul, and she shares her personal and spiritual struggles, her heartache, her joys as she heals her spirits. She has a Facebook page. It is The Healing Path of the Raven and the Wolf, and it's one that I religiously watch. She's absolutely amazing. And that's all about a journey of spiritual healing, enlightenment, and awakening. It's dedicated to spiritual growth, to create a happier self, to working out our issues. And let's face it, we've got a few at the moment if we didn't have any before. Understanding ourselves, our path, and our journey forward. Such an incredible opportunity to meet with you today. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, thank you for having me.
This is everybody clapping. Hey, look, it's like I said earlier, we've just had this wonderful chat. It's just such a wonderful opportunity to have what we, face to face with you. Your videos that you post up, you do them daily. They are absolutely incredible. I like to have them on, just like if I wake up in the morning, because our times are different, because I think you're just what about 9:30 at night the day before us. We're in the future, and it's just so lovely to be able to go, I wonder what Waya's got to say for us today. This is going to be amazing. And I just listen there, and you open out your heart, you get really happy about things, you get really angry about things. I mean, there's been a few where I've kind of felt like I've been told off about something, and I'm like, let me just quickly see what it is that I've done. But there's also times when you just really just open out your emotions, and, we can feel it. And I think that's what makes you so brilliant at what you do. You've clearly got an incredible gift, and I would just love to tell as many people as possible about you. So if you're able to, maybe let us know a little bit about you. How did you develop your ability to be a spiritual medium? How, what happened? Tell me.
I was born this way, really. There was no big awakening for me. There was no moment. It was, I remember as far back as being like 3 years old at my grandmother's house when I would stay with my grandmother. She lived in a small house on the side of this hill that was nicknamed Billy Goat Hill, because one side was so steep, they would say that only thing that could go up that hill was billy goats.
Yeah.
And part of one of the civil wars was fought on that hill because they thought they were actually on Missionary Ridge, and they were in the wrong place. And to this day, if you go up to the top of that hill, because there's only like one house at the very top and there's no other houses, you can still see the trenches that are up there. Wow. Even this long. Yeah, because there's no one ever lived up there except for that one house. On the other side of the hill, what is really mystical about that place is every house that has been built on the other side has burned down over the past, 100 years.
Yeah.
They will build and it will burn. They will build and it will burn. So the only houses that exist are my grandmother's house on one side and the one house at the top of the hill. That's it. Nothing in between. But being at my grandmother's house, when I stayed with her, I would sleep with her, of course. And she had an old fireplace in that room that still had the chimney to it. And it was no longer a fireplace. It was a closet, and she just had a curtain over it. And I'd tell myself every night, don't look at that closet. Don't look at the closet. Don't. So in the middle of the night, I would wake up every single night staring at the stupid closet, and out would come spirits, man, woman, man, woman, man, woman. And they were so close you couldn't see between them.
Wow.
And they would circle the whole bed. And of course I'd cover up my head until I fell back to sleep because I was not going to pull my head. I would suffocate. I didn't care. I was not going to look outside the covers.
Yeah.
But once I got grown, I believe that they were there to protect us from other things that were in the house, because I felt other spirits throughout the whole house that were
Wow.
not so nice.
Did you speak with your grandmother about this? Did she know?
Yeah, and anytime I spoke at a young age, when you start saying stuff like that, they just put you off and like act like you don't know what you're talking about. But I'm like, she had to know. She had to know.
Surely she must have felt something.
But I was like 3 and 4 years old, so she probably didn't want to scare me. I was already scared enough as it was, so. And she probably thought that I wouldn't understand if she explained it, so. No one ever spoke about it.
Isn't it interesting that there's so many things that people go through that we ourselves either don't speak about, or we need to speak about it, but we don't feel like we can speak about it because other people aren't able to speak about it or don't want to. And that must have been so incredibly challenging for you, because, you see scary movies of that kind of thing, and the audience is like eating their popcorn because they're so petrified by it. I mean, imagine being in the movie, which is what you were.
Yes, I was in the movie. For instance, like there's so many things I wish I would have asked my grandmother before she passed on that I didn't think about when I was younger. I was just trying to survive whatever craziness was going on. But like as soon as it got dark, I would close the curtains because I could feel something negative outside those windows looking in. And when you sat on the sofa in the living room, the kitchen door was right there and you could see straight down the kitchen. And all the way at the very back of the kitchen, it felt like something evil was staring at me. I would jump up and close the kitchen door. Now, the kitchen door had one of those little hinge locks on it.
Yeah.
So why? Why would you ever want to lock that door like that? Why was that there? I never asked my grandmother. I never thought about it until after she was gone, and I was like, somebody had to know something to put that lock on me.
Yeah.
But that door got shut. As soon as it got dark, that door got shut and locked.
Yeah, and any other padlocks you could possibly have put on it, like mentally, you would.
Yeah, and you're not walking outside. No, not once it got dark. No.
Wow, that would have been so incredibly frightening for you. At what point did you make your peace with it and kind of go, like, all right, this is clearly not going away. What do I do with it now?
Well, I guess just after living through so many different things at such a young age, it just became normal life for me. And I never spoke about it to anyone until I got much older. And it was what it was. And I just adapted and did what I had to do, what I felt I could do to protect myself as much as possible.
Yeah. And then we were saying earlier that you've created your Facebook page, The Healing Path of the Raven and Wolf, about 6 years ago?
Yes.
And so you would have been feeling a little bit like you were drawn to get your videos out or to be able to post about
Well, at that time, I had gone through a divorce, and now that I didn't have that person, raining on my parade and making fun of me for my beliefs, then I could say whatever I wanted to say. And I had something to say, and I felt like more people were going to be helped by whatever I had to say. So if I go back and look at my early videos, it's cringy. I'm like, oh, they're terrible. They're so terrible. And I prepared myself to have a lot of kickback and a lot of people hating, and you know how they do, the trolls that want to just be negative. But I have been so fortunate. I could probably count on one hand the people that I've had to just block and say, look, if it's not your thing, it's okay. It doesn't have to be, but you don't have to be ugly to me. You just get blocked. Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, I love that. I heard you say that a few times on your videos. I laugh every time I hear it. I'm like, something really serious, and then you say, bye, Felicia, and I'm like, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I don't know where that's from either. Yeah. They'll say, who's Felicia? And I'm like, have you not seen the movie? It's from like a movie from the 90s, the Friday movie. And
Right.
it's because this one annoying neighbor just kept coming over wanting to do things, and they just kept saying, "Bye, Felicia."
But you know what? It serves to raise everyone's energies and lighten everybody up and just raise your vibration. So if you were feeling a little bit negative or whatever, you're listening to what it is that you've had to say, and it's all so pertinent and so relevant, and you're trying to take anything that you've said and apply it to your own life as to how you can cope, or using whatever you've said as support. And you're so set on listen to everything and just take everything in, and then you'd be like, "Bye, Felicia," and you're like. And then and then you go, okay, you know what? I just need to lighten up. I just need to
Right.
go with the flow of things. And there's a lot of people right now. We were talking earlier about, in New Zealand, we're in lockdown at the moment. There's so many different countries that can't even go outside of your property. Here, we're still able to go out for a walk and for non-essential things, which is interesting because just on a side note, I saw a post on one of our local pages about the Auckland motorway, which is normally not as busy as I imagine it is in America, but it's our traffic jams. And it was a current, this is what the current motorway looks like, and there were no cars. And she says, clearly, all of our traffic is for non-essential items. And it really made me think, this whole COVID-19 period now is making me think. It's making me reassess so much about my life. Like, I haven't gone to the shops, I haven't gone out and done anything. I'm talking more to people than what I ever have before in my life. I'm meeting people from all over the world. I would not have done this before any of this stuff
No,
happened.
you would have been busy with non-essential things, with things that were just busy work, not really important things. So everything is changing right now. There's going to be a new normal from this point forward. We're changing everything. Consciously, the masses, everyone is changing. On their consciousness is leveling up right now, and we're looking at what is important to us, who is important to us. Okay, who's in our life that we can't stand, and we're wasting too much time with those people. So you're going to stop doing those things. You're going to stop doing the less important things and start doing more of the most important things, the things that really fulfill you on a spiritual level and an emotional level more than anything else, and not something that's just going to keep you busy anymore.
Yeah. And I love that, because for me, I mean, I've been labeled a type A personality, a workaholic to workaholic parents, and that's all that I've known. Right? I have a daughter, like I mentioned, who is like, "Mum, you don't spend any time with me. Blah, 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 blah. You don't play with me." And I'm kind of like, yeah, but my parents didn't play with me either, and that for me was my norm. However, I'm now in a situation where, I mean, I basically working from home, and I've got a daughter here who I now need to homeschool, which is a little bit touch and go because I don't know what I'm doing at all with it. But today I sat down and I watched a movie with her for a full hour and a half, and I was itching to be on my phone. I was itching to do an email. I was itching to do something, and anything so that I could still feel like I was being productive, and I was still ticking those boxes of the old me, the pre-COVID me. And I picked up my phone once, and that was to message you to say, "Hey, you're still good to go." And she's like, "Mum, you should just put down your phone." And I'm like, I said, "I've just got one little thing, darling, just one little thing." But I mean, like you say, this is such a wonderful time for us really to just stop and to go, what actually is important? It is not important for me to get an email done right now when I have an hour and a half of my time that I'm now gifted, because that's what it is. It's a gift, right? To be able to spend with my daughter.
Right. Well, I said to someone, I think it was yesterday actually, we were having a conversation, and I said, at the end of the day, all the little things that are bothering you, if something took one of your lives, because they were going back and forth in their relationship, having problems there, and it was all just a lot of little nonsense kind of things. I said, at the end of the day, if life took one of you away, would any of those things matter? No. Not one of them.
Mm.
How would you feel wasting your time on those little things, those little arguments, when in a flash that person's gone and you never get them back?
Yeah.
So we're looking now at what is really important and what is not so important.
Mm.
Is that email that important that it takes away that time with that loved one? When it could be, you don't know, it could be your last 5 minutes with that person.
Exactly.
You don't know.
Mm. Such a powerful question to ask yourself, right? Because what it does is it really grounds you in the present. You know,
Yes.
it's kind of like a slap in the head around, this is your reality check right now. You
Yeah.
know, we've got, I mean, not to be morbid, because there's a lot of good things I think that are coming out of this time. You know, we are having people around us pass away from COVID, right? This is
From something.
reality. You know, exactly. You know, and you know, we need to also, I guess, take a look at the bigger picture and just go, look, this isn't just us that's being affected by us, or our close families, which is what we've been so focused on pre-COVID. But now, while we're in this, we're slowly starting to go, geez, you know, America's stats are increasing with the number of new cases. You know, Italy, France, South Africa, you know, like New Zealand. It's global. This is about a time of us coming together, isn't it?
Right. Yes.
And really discerning what it is that we are looking at in terms of social media, and what it is that people are telling us, you know, because we're getting bombarded with so much information, not only from social media, but from emails that are coming through from different companies about, you know, what we can do.
Every social media page, every website, every social media, every website you go on now has the COVID-19. Go check this out first. Your email, even in your messenger, it has a message at the top, right in the middle of there, that says, here's your COVID-19 information that you need to look at. So everything we open up, everything that is in front of us has that on there right now. So it makes us, it's not letting us forget that. But what else is going on in the world? Are you telling me nothing else is happening in the world? It's just this only thing is happening in the world? I don't know about that. I think there's a whole lot more going on. But they just want us to focus on this one thing, and we have to ask ourselves why.
Another good question.
Yeah.
Allows us to kind
It's
of
like
step back.
putting a magic blanket up or a magic curtain up. You know, it's like, we're not going to let you see what's really happening. Here's the puppet show that we want you to believe and we want you to watch, but you're not going to see what's behind the scenes, what's really going on. But that's very political, and
Yeah.
we'll never, I don't know that we'll ever really know the truth.
We might get glimpses of it later on down
Yeah.
the track in hindsight, you know, just like life in hindsight anyway.
Right.
What I'm wondering is, are you able to provide any guidance? I'm not saying you know, channel or anything like that, but just from your perspective and how COVID has affected you, just in terms of how somebody might, other than of course taking a look at your videos, and I suggest everybody likes your page. It's really an incredible Facebook page, and your website, which is www.wayashealingpath.com. Brilliant. And you do one-on-one readings as well, which I found out just earlier as well, which is great. So there's a variety of ways that we can tap into your services, and obviously do our bit to be able to support you through these times as well. Without tapping into those services right now, from a personal perspective, if anybody was really struggling with you know, feeling ungrounded, or just getting into panic, or stressing out about money or anything like that, have you got anything that's worked for you?
Yes, there's lots of things. First of all, you have to remind yourself that everything that's going on right now is 1,000% temporary. This is not going to continue on forever. There will be a stopping point, a cutoff point where it's going to go away. The thing is, like I said, there's going to be a different normal. Things aren't going to just go back exactly like they were. Everything is changing. Businesses are changing. We are changing. what we look at is changing, how we look at things is changing, how we do things is changing, and all businesses will change as well. I'm hoping that more businesses will see the value in their employees, and they're going to start paying what they're actually worth, and not just trying to scrape by giving people the least amount they possibly can and working them to death, because that's absolutely ridiculous, and life is more precious than that. We're not here just to work and do nothing else, to barely scrape by. So hopefully they're going to start seeing the value in people. And how people have stepped up to help get those companies. It's not really going to benefit them other than their regular paycheck, but they're stepping up to help that business stay in business. And I think that's worth something more. Grounding yourself is huge especially when you are filled with all that fear. Get outside, touch the earth. And by that, I mean, sit your butt on the ground if you need to, touch a tree, sit up against a tree for a while, put your bare feet on the ground. I go outside now that I'm working from home anyway, more now than I was before. And I take my grandchildren out with me, and we go out there barefoot, and we walk around, and we look for 4-leaf clovers for a few minutes each day. And they actually love that, but it helps. The earth will pull out all of that negative energy out of you, all the toxins out of you as well, and replenish you with fresh healing energy. So it's super important. Cleansing your space. I'd say that in every single video, I remind people to cleanse their space. Use the cleansing herbs like sage and lavender, sweetgrass, palo santo. Any of those things will help you cleanse the space, because think about being in your home. It's like a box, and everyone in that box has all this energy and all these emotions. Thoughts are energy, words are energy, action is energy, and emotions are energy. All that energy is clinging to everything inside that box, and it's building up. So if there's a lot of anger in there, that box is going to be full of anger. If there's a lot of people who are depressed or sad, then that box is full of that. If you're full of fear, then your box is filling up more and more with fear. So open the windows, smudge your spaces, and cleanse them as much as you feel you need to. Those things will help. And occupy your mind. Get a hobby. Do something. Even if it's just learning something. The internet is like, there's so many things that you can learn just watching videos. So teach yourself something new during this time.
And do your meditations, right?
Definitely do your meditation. And the thing I want everyone to remember about meditation, because I hear so many, that's the biggest thing I hear about. Oh, I can't meditate. I can't shut my mind off. You're not meant to. Your mind is not made to shut off. You're never going to empty your mind. That's what people think meditation is. But what meditation really is about is focusing on one thing at a time. So when you're focusing on that one thing, like, for instance, painting is a form of meditation, because you can't be thinking about your grocery list and your to-do list and what you have to do at work and the bills and all of that while you're painting. You have to only focus on those paint strokes and making that painting come to life. So meditation is a lot like that. You imagine something and you make that something do something. Like I do a chakra meditation all the time. So imagine my chakras one at a time. And each one is a color. So your crown chakra is white. So turn it into a white ball, and then make that ball do something like spin or bounce or glow. When you're comfortable with that, you move on to the next one, which is your third eye, which is purple. And then you make it do something, spin or bounce or glow or whatever. And you just keep doing that. And as you're focusing on those one thing, those tasks, you can't possibly, thoughts will come in and out, but you're not going to be having, those 1,000 internet tabs open at once, thinking about everything you have to do. You're really focused on that one thing, and that's meditation.
And you don't always get the answers that you're seeking while you're in the meditation. It tends to come after. But because you've kind of just like, you've fused the circuit of your brain, patterns and all your thoughts, you've just gone stop. It's then allowed that creative space or that thought to come in, or that idea or the solution or something like that. So
Exactly.
Wonderful. Waya, thank you so much for
You're welcome.
all of your amazingness, all the way from Tennessee. For anybody who's watching, please go and jump on Facebook now. Search, pardon me, The Healing Path of the Raven and the Wolf. Great. Sign up for the videos. Do whatever you've got to do to make sure that you get each of this wonderful person's videos. Go and take a look on her website, www.wayas, that's WAYAS, healingpath.com. Look her up, be in touch, do your bit. Thank you so much one more time.
Thank you.
Really, really do appreciate it. I hope it's not too late for you now and that you get a wonderful night's sleep.
Thank you.
All right, see you later. Bye.
Have a good one.
Thank you.